Total socialism.
Socialism, and you're smart enough to know this, socialism is when...
Thank you.
How's it gangin', dudes? My name is Sean. Dudes and dudettes. Man, why do I forget? Anyways, how's it hanging? How's it gangin'? What's going on, guys? Okay, so there's kind of a drought of Andrew Yang news for just a moment, unless something happens later on today, right? Which, of course, then I'll cover that and get that up as quick as possible. But for now, I kind of want to focus on what somebody in the comments one time referred to as Yangsterbation videos. I love that term. But it's a clip from a while back, and you remember that moment when Andrew Yang destroyed a Fox News host? Oh my God, I love it. So we're gonna play that clip, some of my old footage. I hope you guys smash like, all that gravy, you know what I'm saying? Enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next.
Total socialism.
Socialism, and you're smart enough to know this, socialism is when is when a country nationalizes the means of production. This is pro-market and pro-consumer.
Pro-market?
Yes, very much so. Consumer markets function much better.
So you don't have to work, you just have to put your hand out. That's not a market.
Well, no American watching this right now is going to quit their job on $1,000 a month. That is not enough to do more than to survive marginally in most any situation. What they're going to do is they're going to take that money, they're going to start new businesses, they're going to go back to school, they're going to frequent their Main Street economy, and we're all going to be better off for it.
Okay, paradise, right?
Well, we have to start thinking bigger about what direction we want to move in as a society, because the truth is, I was just out in Silicon Valley last month. We are going through the greatest technological and economic shift in human history, and we need to make much bigger moves towards an economy that's sustainable over the long term for all Americans.
Did you talk to Zuckerberg, the Facebook guy? Because he's been talking about this universal income, giving everything to everybody.
Yeah, it's people like Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, they're working on the future, and so they can see where we're heading. And that's what I want. I want our economy to accelerate alongside our technology, because right now we're lagging behind.
Okay. Andrew, you're an interesting guy. Totally wrong, but it's kind of interesting stuff. And I just wonder how many people will vote for a 10% sales tax across America?
How many people will vote for $1,000 in their pockets and the pockets of everyone in their family and everyone in their neighborhood? That's really the question.
Yeah, good one. Andrew, you're all right. We thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you.
Hey guys, once again, my name is Sean. Welcome back to the channel, and I have another clip for you guys today, and this clip is a little bit different. A lot of times we see Yang just, very nicely, in a very nice way, correcting a bunch of people, right? Well, this time he's with Larry Lessig, and people all the time in the comment section want to say, I don't trust him, or how do you know he's being truthful, or anything like that. When's the last time you seen a real politician tear up in a genuine fashion at genuine questions about being genuinely motivated for what he's doing? When's the last time that's happened? I mean, when you see Rachel Maddow, she's not really a politician, but she's over here crying about, Russia and stuff like that. But this guy really is he's tearing up over some real issues that he really wants to fix. So I'm get off here real quick so you guys can see this clip. And I'll catch you on the other side. So let's go ahead and roll that.
This is a really important point. We don't have Washington filled with a bunch of criminals. Members of Congress are not bad people. All of them go to Congress, I think, whether you agree with their policies or not, for the right reasons. They're all trying to do good. But then they find themselves in the middle of the system that forces them, if they're going to survive, to behave like this. And so I think one really important thing is to stop vilifying people as if they're evil people and just take on the system, which I think is the interesting perspective somebody like an entrepreneur brings to this type of question. Because you look at problems and you think, what's the twist that might make this problem go away?
Yes, and I will say that I think you all, if you're here, you're thinking in these same terms. You're looking up and you're seeing that there's something twisted and messed up and imperfect about various processes, certainly campaign finance. And it's very tempting to then demonize people on the other end of it. And sometimes, they're doing really unsavory things. But what we have to do is we have to focus on fixing the system that is distorting and dehumanizing various people, turning them into economic actors very, very often. That is the mission that we all must be on. You all have this almost sacred trust to try and safeguard the rest of the country from this broken down system that is on the verge of pushing us off this precipice, after which there will be no coming back. And you can all feel it. We're all heading in that direction. That's why I'm running for president. I'm not running for president because I fantasized about ever being president. I'm running for president because I'm an American and I'm a parent, and I can see the country we will leave to our children, and it is not something that I'm willing to accept.
Joining us here, Nia Malika Henderson, David Axelrod, Gloria Borger, Van Jones, former candidate Andrew Yang, also Jess McIntosh, and Abdul Al-Sayed. Let's just get some quick takes from everybody. Andrew Yang, I got to start out with you, as you were most recently the one on the debate stage. What did you make it tonight?
Well, I certainly think the tone was harsh and argumentative throughout the night, which made for a not very edifying debate on many levels. But I thought it was a great night for Joe Biden. I feel like he has been stronger since he got to South Carolina. He very confidently predicted a win. I think he may win South Carolina this weekend. Clyburn's endorsement coming tomorrow will be a big difference maker. And if Joe does win South Carolina, then we could be looking at a much more competitive race.
David Axelrod?
Well, I agree that Biden had a good night.
He did some stuff that you can see, as you were saying, Andrew, that he's probably on his pathway to victory in South Carolina. He knows it, and he did really well. Bloomberg made a lot of bad jokes, but he was not a bad joke. Last week, he was the joke, okay? This time, he just made a bunch of corny jokes. So I think that had he blown himself up... Progress. Had he blown himself up...
It's also co-hosted by Twitter, so this does feel a lot like Twitter.
You know what? That makes perfect sense. I think
Bernie Sanders is just this bulldozer who just...
He's like a fortress.
A
like
fortress. Mount Bernie. Just, you keep going at him, and you can ask him, and he will never change his position. Keep coming at me because those are good. Those are good. You just.
I've been there. You're on stage, and he has a force field, and everything you say to him, it's like, let me be clear. I'm going to talk about what I'm going to talk about. It's going to have some relationship. But that was what was supposed to ask me. But it is not really going to be what you'd asked me about, and it's going to now go into a Bernieism. And then afterwards, you're like, okay, what just happened?
No. But that was
no way to get him off of it. So when it's a question about Cuba, he will continue to give that answer that he gave to you.
He is like a fortress, Andrew, but not on that question tonight.
No,
on that question that he looked unmoored.
I think probably for every woman in the world, their heads were nodding. Like, Bernie talks and I do. The guys, yell, I get it done. And so I think that she really struck something really powerful there. She never followed up.
Never.
Then she spent the rest of the debate beating up on Bloomberg, trying to do the same thing she did last week. And I don't know if that helped her very much. But I do think that one thing happened. There was a lot of guys just screaming over each other. Over and over and over again.
I want to explain that dynamic. This was the last time we're going to see 2 or 3 of these candidates. And they were surrounded by their teams saying, all right, this is going to be your last debate unless you do something incredibly stratospheric that lights the political world afire. And those were essentially the incentives for everyone on the stage, which is, look, this is your last debate. Go out swinging.
$60 billion. I mean, that's why he's still in the race. He is running these ads. I was in Illinois a couple of days ago, and he has this very powerful ad talking about criminal justice.
Bloomberg's case for the nomination is essentially the opposite of Pete Buttigieg's, and let me explain. So this election, this primary is going to happen on Saturday, and then Super Tuesday is literally 3 days later. Pete's campaign does not have the financial resources to advertise in the Super Tuesday states at a competitive level. That's why they put out this plea for donations very recently, because they need that ad money. They need to cut those ads and then put them in those markets as quickly as possible. And 3 days is not enough time really to do it, even if he has a good result in South Carolina, which none of us really expects. Bloomberg's argument is essentially the opposite. Is like, I've got infinite bankroll to fund ads in Super Tuesday and throughout the entire primaries and against Donald Trump. Whatever the Republicans marshal as resources, I can outspend. The big missing piece to me is why Bloomberg would not just take all of these resources and put them towards a candidate that he believed in. It reminds me of like a movie director who casts himself. You know what I mean? It's like, I can't find anyone who's going to be better in this role than me. And like, I looked in the mirror and I said, so that's like a very big question in my mind. But the argument he has is going to stick with us this entire primary season as long as he stays in the race. I thought today was a much better debate for Mike. And I actually have to say the improvement from less than a week ago to today was significant. Like, he went from being, looking like he didn't belong to at least seeming like he fit in. I feel like Mount Bernie showed a tinge of vulnerability tonight, and I think Joe Biden had a very strong night. I'd look for Joe to carry some momentum through South Carolina into Super Tuesday.